Well, it is a blazing hot day here at the end of June at Delectable Tiny Gardens. Oh man, humidity is up, the heat is up, but we got some things going on in the garden, and it's honestly not any hotter out here than it is inside. So we might as well just kind of take it easy and get some stuff done. Well, you know, it is time to put those blue barrels together, and so before I do that, I decided I'd wander around a little bit, and we're going to look at some of the things that are growing here. So this right here is the remnants of a compost and soil mix that we had delivered. We had four yards delivered, and right now it's got lots of weeds in it, which is okay. Those weeds will go in the bottom of those barrels, and then I'll put the soil in on top of the weeds, so that'll be actually good organic material as I'm filling the barrels. So and then right there in that bucket, that is my prairie sage that I cut back, and that is going beautifully. And I've been experimenting with several things in my container gardens that I've never grown before. I've grown stuff in pants before, but never this mix. But that's kind of pretty. I'll try that again next year and see if I can get better results. But that's the kale and the mustards are kind of going to seed, but that's still good food. And I planted some sage and strawberries, and man, look at those strawberry runners. Long strawberry runners. So I'm gonna put some pots underneath that and get some more strawberry plants off of that, but that's cool. So, and then the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and grab the oregano, because this oregano is going in with the first barrel. I got a lot of cleanup to do here. There is a comfrey plant, and there's the oregano that's been kind of sitting there. Okay, so that oregano is going to get split up and put in with the rose. So let's go back to the garden and take a look at this. So I've already got it started filling, and I'm going to plant a white rose in this one, and it's already starting to bloom, but that'll be okay. Now, and this oregano is going to go in there with it after I get that filled. But before I fill any more, I got to take that rose out of that basket, and I'll just plant the peeper and all, so I don't disturb the roots, into that mini garden. But that is the worm garden getting ready to go. Now, what I did is I've got an old fence post, a light fence post, sitting on top of that, so that I can make sure that all of the holes for the worm tower are going to be underneath the soil level. So, and that's going to be perfect. So I'm going to move that to the next barrel. So let's move to the next barrel, and that's out of the way. So let's take a look at the rest of this. So what I've got in those black crates right there is I planted some ginger, and it's not up yet, but I think that's looking good. So, and there's the worm towers that I did earlier as the experiment. Now the deer have come into the yard and they like tomatoes, so we need to get that fencing done so the deer stay out of here. But that one has, I've got chamomile and tomatoes. There is basil in there and parsley in the tomatoes. And then in the next one, that is chamomile, peppers, and thyme, and some more parsley in there. And then in this one, I've got more prairie sage. And then in the fourth one, I've got a tomato plant, and that is cat mint in with the tomato plant. And that cat mint will take over that entire garden, but there's enough room in there this year for a tomato plant. So let's take a look at the main vegetable garden that we don't have fenced yet. And we're having an issue with groundhogs and deer. But the tomatoes, okay, there's tomatoes there, and the other rose plant that we're going to be planting. Potatoes, those are growing in crates. Okay. And then last fall I experimented with garlic in a crate, and that's looking good. That's just on the starting side of drying down, so that'll be about another week or two. Okay. Bush beans are coming up, and I think they're getting chewed as fast as they're coming up. More garlic. Okay, I've got radishes planted in there, and I'm going to be planting some more stuff in there. Okay, this is the yard-long beans, and I've got some kale in there. And this area between the two rows of yard-long beans, I've got some lettuce and brassicas that I am going to be planting in there this week. We'll see how fast I get the barrels done today. Okay, and then this is the trellis arch. This is just light PVC. Okay, and I've got hardware cloth that is tied to the PVC to make a trellis for the beans, and I can either rope across the top or wire across the top on that for more trellising. And then some more potatoes there. And at the south end of the garden, I've got kale is doing beautifully. The mustards, I think I'm about ready to, they're going to seed, so I'm about ready to pull those out. And I think I'll plant some cabbages in here. So keep that going, and as soon as I pull the garlic out, we'll plant something else in with the garlic, where the garlic is. The rest of this is areas that I still need to clean up before I put the fence in. And then the empty containers that are in the middle there are holding the cardboard down until we can get some wood chips in here. So the two rows are the barrels and the black barrels and the blue barrels. And then the second row that's started is where the roses are going. So it's all looking good, and as soon as we get some wood chips, I'll move stuff out of the way so that we have two clean rows there, and then we'll get started on the next phase and the fencing. Oh, what a beautiful day this has been. So I love working in the garden and growing things in tiny spaces. It really doesn't take much, but in the heat, you gotta take it slow and easy. And right now, it's time to rest here in the shade of the maple tree. So I'm going to enjoy my shrub, my raspberry shrub, and rest for a little bit, cool down, rehydrate. And enjoy the rest of the afternoon. You know, when it's hot, slow down, take it easy, take your time. It's worth growing your own food in tiny spaces. It really doesn't take much. In spaces, in a container as small as a gallon, you can grow vegetables or herbs. Okay? I get a lot of mine started in milk jugs. I would love to see you over at Delectable Tiny Gardens, where we can support each other in our endeavors with growing our own food without the chemicals, without the problems. And it's, you know, everybody's got challenges, but we solve them together. So, like I said, doesn't take much space. All it takes is a container to grow some food. And hey, like, subscribe, and hey, check the comments down below and the links, and I'll put a link in there for the recipe book that has the fruit shrub in it. You can make your own, because this is really good on a summer day. Really good rehydration. So we'll see you next time, and come and see us over at Delectable Tiny Gardens for a free 7-day trial, and check out our next workshop, or the workshops that are in the classroom. They're all on replay, so we'll see you there. See you next time. It's worth